and welcome to our surprising seasonal produce virtual cooking class. I am Charlotte, and with me this evening is the wonderful and knowledgeable Scott Tompkins.
Aw, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's not a virtual cooking class without you.
Aw.
Just gonna say it.
You as well, chef.
Well, thank you.
I'm ready to go on this journey. I got my shoes on. I'm ready
All
for
right.
this journey.
Well, I'm glad you're going to go on this journey, and I'm glad everyone else has joined us to go on this journey because I am really excited about this one. So we're into May here, and the weather is sort of warming up, right? We're getting into summer, and we all know that Texas summers are pretty hot. But we're also getting into some really delicious fresh produce, right? So like summer produce is wonderful. We have fresh herbs, and we have avocados and peaches and stone fruits. So I'm very excited. All the berries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, super into it. So we decided to do a really fun class about some surprising ways that you can add seasonal produce to your recipes. So today, the recipes that we're doing, we are going to do a really fun Texas twist to a lobster roll. So we're going to do a chipotle lobster salad, and we're going to serve this on some wonderful bakery hot dog buns. We are going to make a fantastic burrata stone fruit and strawberry salad. So I'm all about this, right? Stone fruit is in season. Unfortunately, we could not find peaches because we have freezes and things like that. So the weather's been kind of weird, but we did find cherries, and cherries are a stone fruit, and they are coming into season right now. So cherries are going to be a beautiful addition to this recipe. And the burrata is so wonderful. So those of you that don't know what burrata is, it is mozzarella, but it is a beautiful mozzarella that is filled with a wonderful, rich, delicious cream, and it is almost like dessert. Super excited about this.
If I could make a comparison in the mozzarella burrata world, I always like to say, like, mozzarella, great cheese. Everybody knows it, very mild. It's like the cheese for melting and all that stuff. Well, burrata's like, burrata went away to boarding school
to finishing
school, got the finest education, came back, and then when you taste burrata next to mozzarella, you notice there's a very noticeable difference.
Yes.
That's what I like to say. It is delicious. Delicious.
It's like stainless steel and platinum. Burrata is the platinum. The platinum.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. And then to finish off this evening, we are going to do a guacamole with walnuts and pomegranates. And yes, I did call it guacamole. Here in Texas, if it's avocado, it's guac, right? Or at least in my world. But I love this recipe because the crunch from the walnuts and the pomegranates, it's a very, very beautiful recipe. If you guys are cooking along with us, I'm super excited. If you have any questions, don't forget to hit up Scott in the chat. We will answer those questions in real time. And if you just have any comments, I'm here for them. You guys ready? I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay, I have my recipes here. Just in case. I just like to have them on standby.
Yeah, you gotta have your instructions ready, right?
Yes. Okay. So we are going to cook some lobsters in real time, right? So I picked up 2 lobsters today from the seafood market. These guys right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to boil these guys. Now, you can steam lobsters if you have like a steamer basket, but it's totally fine to boil them. In fact, I do it all the time, and we're just going to submerge them in the water. But what you want to do, I've got these guys right here, and I want to show them to you. They come in this bag, and you can ask the seafood partner to put them on ice for you. You definitely, if anybody tuned into our crawfish class, you don't want to submerge them in water. You don't need to purge them. They don't need to go into the bathtub or the swimming pool. They just need to be really cold and dry, right? And just put them in the fridge on the ice, and they'll get kind of lethargic and a little bit sleepy, all right? And this is how I like to do the lobsters. They come with their claws and rubber bands. That's to protect you and protect them when they're together. Keep the rubber bands on them, not gonna hurt anything, right? And they're just like this, right? So here are the lobsters, just in here like this, and just like that, all right? So I've got some water on the stove, salted water, heavily salted, with a bunch of lemons in there. It may impart a little flavor in there. I like to do it, and it's just sort of, when I boil seafood, it's something that I do. So let's throw these guys in here, and we're going to put them directly into the boiling water. Make sure you have enough water to cover them. And we're going to cook them for about 8 to 9 minutes. So I would say it's like 8 minutes per pound-ish.
Yeah, it's like 7 to 9 minutes a pound, I think, is probably like,
7 to 9?
everything has a has a weight, but I think it also depends on, you talked about putting them in the fridge. I don't think we talked about putting them in the fridge to kind of like get them a little sleepy night time before you toss them in the water, so they're kind of like in shock. The best way to do, if you're gonna do fresh lobsters, the best way to do it is, like you said, buy them the same day.
Yep.
Use them and throw them in the water. Throw them in that pot, cook them up. 10 minutes later, perfect.
So we're gonna let these guys, we're gonna bring them up to a boil. So it's gonna take a few minutes because they have been on ice, so the temperature of our water has definitely dropped. And we're gonna bring it back up to a boil and then to about medium. So it should be, like Scott said, 7 to 9 minutes. These lobsters were about a pound each. Now, a pound of lobster will give us about between 8 to 7 ounces. So 2 lobsters would be good to get a pound. If lobster is not your thing, this lobster roll or lobster salad recipe is like perfect for shrimp or even crab. Right next to my pot, I have an ice bath. When these guys come out, we're gonna go directly from the pot and into the ice bath, and that's going to like halt all cooking, right? Stop the cooking process. Like when we blanch something, perfect. All right, so while that's happening...
Charlie, we had a quick question.
Go ahead.
Actually, Cammie wants to know, what's the difference between warm water and cold water lobster? I can only find cold water lobster at H-E-B. That's probably, you're only always going to be able to find cold water lobster tail
We do
at H-E-B.
sell...
The tails we sell of warm water, because warm water lobster tails only have the tail meat. There's no claws typically in warm water lobster tail, or warm water lobsters. You'll find the cold water lobsters have the claws and everything else, so it's just a difference in
so we sell the spiny lobster tail, and it's from, I believe, cold water lobster is all Atlantic.
Yeah.
Right? And then, okay, so that's a tongue twister. While our lobster is cooking, we are going to prepare the dressing for the lobster salad. So it's, I've found that, like, as I do research and, like, dive into these recipes and, like, get to know these ingredients, I find that, like, lobster salad or lobster rolls, it's very personal, right? So, like, depending on where you're from or how your mom made them is how you like them. Same with, like, we talked about that when we did the crawfish boil, right? So, like, how your mom taught you or how your dad did it. It's really cool, right?
Carol never taught me how to make a lobster roll. She never did.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to make it.
Some people,
this is new to me. I'm excited.
Some people like just, lobster, butter, chive, right? And then some people like mayonnaise and celery leaf and celery salt. Some people want Old Bay, right? Some people want it served on like a hearty bun. Some people want it on a hot dog bun. So it's all like, it's personal preference. And that's what I like about cooking. It's all personal preference. So if preparing the lobster or steaming the lobster is not your thing, I had our seafood partner steam these lobsters fresh this morning. So like if you don't want to waste the time, if you don't want to mess with it, or if it's just not your thing, you're not sure how to do it, you can always have the seafood partner steam the lobster for you. It takes about 10 minutes and there's no extra charge, and he puts them in this really cute little tray just like this, and then you're ready to go, right?
I like it, yeah. And that's a great thing about H-E-B. Obviously, you walk up to the seafood counter, you can get, most H-E-Bs will have the lobster tank. You can pick up your own lobster, or you could, if you don't want to do the cooking lobster at home by yourself, if you feel like it's too messy or too weird, you can always get them to steam it for you there. They wrap it up just like you said. Or you can buy the frozen lobster tails also in the seafood. So it's kind of like there's a myriad of ways to do it.
Totally. All right, so in the bowl, what we're going to do is we are going to add some cilantro. We're going to do some lime juice, lime zest, right? So instead of that traditional lemon, we're going to do the lime, which I love. And I love the zest. I like the lime because we get that essence, right? Or the zest. It's super good. And then we're going to add in some chipotle, some cilantro, and, of course, some mayonnaise, right?
The recipe. You're using our fancy kitchen and table borosilicate. I like to say borosilicate.
I think you just like to say borosilicate. Yeah.
So I feel like I just want to say it as much as I can to hit the point home. Fantastic bowl.
Ooh, this lime smells so good. All right.
This is a great, I love the lime zest addition to this lobster.
No, I love it.
It really is going to give it a fresh.
Add some color, but really like the zest is where all that like.
It's very Baja California of you. I'm very impressed right now.
Well, I'm feeling very cool then. All right,
we'll do a little. My West Coast roots a little bit.
The juice. All right.
It's all that good flavor.
For sure.
We've also talked about I'm not a big mayonnaise.
Okay.
Emulsified sandwich fan.
Okay, so I'm with you on this. My opinion of mayonnaise is like a bathing suit. just enough to hold it together, just enough to cover it. All right, that's how I feel about it.
I don't think I've ever heard that said like that, but you know what? I'm going to use that for a lot of different descriptors.
But again, it goes back to personal preference. If you need full coverage mayonnaise, then you do full coverage mayonnaise, all right? But I'm going to put
a Snuggie, like it's kind of like the Snuggie at the beach. Like that's how you want your mayonnaise in this.
Okay, Snuggie. That's okay. All right, we are going to add some red onion, and I'm probably going to do about half of this. To cut a red onion, I'm going to show you real quick. So we take off the flowering or the stem end, the tip, and then we leave the root end intact. And we actually have a really cool video of this on our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/HEB. It's how to cut an onion. You can watch it a whole bunch of ways.
And then practice.
Practice.
Do it over and over and over again.
So I'm going to see. Can y'all see that? Do y'all have a good angle? You certainly do. All right.
Are you kidding? Rob's got that. He's got that angle dialed in right now.
Like this is a really good sharp knife.
You want to use a very sharp knife always.
For sure. And then I'm going to go back, check those lobsters. There we go.
Cat's paw, knuckles tucked.
Cat's paw. And I like to do them. Oh man, we had these knives sharpened. This is like slicing warm butter. I'm into it.
Sharp knives.
Sharp knives.
I love an aromatic like a red onion or a shallot.
Or shallot.
Any kind of like seafood style salad. I'm a big fan.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape these into the bowl just like this. I'm going to go check our lobsters really quickly, just make sure everybody's okay.
Make sure everybody's doing all right.
I'm going to turn this down. It's come back to a boil.
Oh, sky cam. What?
Sky cam.
Look at that. Come on.
Look at that.
Lobster. I can smell it from here.
Oh,
I love the
smells
smell
amazing,
of lobster.
right? So we got a little bit of red onion in there in the mayonnaise. We got our lime zest. And now we're going to add some cilantro. And when I chop cilantro, I just do like the whole thing. Like I don't even mess around. Stems and all, no big deal. And we're going to rough chop this.
They're tender enough.
Yeah, save a little bit of that cilantro because we're going to use that for garnish.
I like all the flavors here. You've got that chipotle. You're keeping with our southwestern, kind of South Texas theme. A little cilantro, a little chipotle. Now, if you don't like smoked chilies, Chef, what would you substitute? If you're like, I don't really like the smoky flavor of a chipotle. Obviously, a chipotle is just a smoked jalapeno. What other peppers would you suggest?
That's a great question. So if you don't want any spice at all, just skip it. You don't even need it. It won't really miss it, but you could also do like fresh jalapeno. Some of those Fresno chilies would be really nice in that, and also have that great color. Really anything. If you wanted to, you could just put a little like Tabasco, right? So like that cayenne type.
Love it. Sandy just asked, how do you recommend cleaning cilantro before using? So Sandy, this is my thing, Sandy.
That's a great question.
I would tell you that just kind of either just rinse it quickly under cold water or kind of submerge it in a bowl of water, just kind of shake it around just to get any of the sand out of there, any of that kind of stuff out of there would be the best way to do it.
That's the perfect way to do it. I like it. Okay, so we're going to do some chipotle, and I'm going to put on a glove. And they come in various size cans. I bought the little can. Do y'all want a lot of chipotle or a little chipotle? It calls for 2.
I love chipotle flavor. I love the smokiness. I love the pepper, but I'm always a little like the spice is always where I kind of have to go.
Oh, really?
Start sweating, you know what I mean? Like I get that.
Okay.
I'm kind of a spice wuss, if you would. I'm not a bona fide Texas spice.
All right, we'll just do one guy. Oh, they have this wonderful sweet, like.
I love the smell of chipotles.
Yes.
I love the flavor. The spice sometimes can be a little too much for me.
I put 1 in there. How's that? 1.
That'll work.
Okay, Chef. All right, we got 1 guy in there. Do a quick little cleanup. Move these guys out of the way.
So all that's going to sit there. Now once you add all this together, I notice obviously the lobster's not quite done yet. You're going to kind of allow this to kind of sit together and
yes. So what we're going to do.
Become close. Get to know each other.
So we're going to mix everything up, and we're going to let all of this sort of marry, right? So what we're going to do is when you let things sit, the longer they sit, the more they have time to like bloom and I guess like macerate, I guess what we call if it was the berries or something like that. But all the flavors sort of come together. It's sort of like the way like meatloaf and lasagna are better the next day.
Yeah, that their personalities start to rub off on one another.
For sure. All right, so throw this. We're going to take this to the fridge. I'm going to check on those guys real quick. I'm going to leave that in there. All right.
Love this.
The lobsters I bet these guys are done, actually.
They smell like they're getting really close.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let them go for 2 more minutes. It's not that big of a deal if we overcook these guys because we're going to cut it a little. We're going to cut them and put them in this sauce. They'll be beautiful.
Yeah, and they're also, you have to kind of account for if you put them in the freezer, like if you kind of did the thing as she said, you would throw it all together and kind of go, if you took them out of the freezer, obviously they're going to need a little more time than the 7 to 9 minutes normally. So just know that you may have to add a little bit of time to get them fully cooked.
All right.
Cami asked, does the dressing need salt? My answer, Cami, always yes.
Yes, that's a great question. I'm going to season that at the end. But that was a great question. Yes.
Another great question for you, Chef. Panelists ask, how do you know when a lobster is done?
So that's also another great question. There's a couple of ways you can tell. So like the way the head kind of separates from the tail a little bit, which is sort of happening over there. The color that they turn, obviously, is that really bright color. And then it's sort of going to be like turkey, right? Like a turkey in the oven. You can go by the time, so the temperature and time by weight. And you can also use a meat thermometer, right? So like 155 is usually where we want to go. But great question. All right, so we are getting ready for our burrata with stone fruit. And I'm just getting all of our ingredients together over here. So what we are going to do, there's a lot of stuff on that tray.
It's a lot of things.
A lot of things came off that tray. So right here, cherries. So like I said, we couldn't find any peaches, but cherries are stone fruit and cherries are in season. And so super, super easy. Does everybody have a cherry pitter? If anybody, like one of these guys, if you do not have one, I highly recommend investing in a cherry pitter. They're super easy. They make pitting cherries or olives like super duper quick and easy. And to pit a cherry, super simple. Wash them, peel the stem off, and then most people when they do a cherry, they like to go through like the stem part right here. So can you see that? But I don't like to do that. I like to do it from the side because when you do it from the side, oh man, that went so well in rehearsal.
Aww. Hey, that's why we test things,
That's right. So what happens is when you do them to the side, the seed comes out really easily.
Typically comes out the
side. Should I do it again?
You get a little more food, you get a little more surface, yes. Courtney said, my favorite comment so far, oh my God, I love Hood River cherries. And she also said, my favorite home gadget, yes.
Courtney, twice.
Hood River cherries are awesome.
Yes, okay, so last year, I bought pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of Hood River cherries.
They're good.
And I was seeding them by hand. So I bought one of these guys.
Yeah.
It's like the best investment. And then I sat there all day and I was like,
now, the other way you can pit a cherry is, if you want to do it, you can put trash bags all over your house in your kitchen, cover yourself in a trash bag, and take a bunch of heavy pots and just smash the cherries and get the pits out that way. That's not recommended, obviously, but if you want to have a little fun with the kids, you want to decorate the kitchen in some trash bags, you can go to town and get Hood River cherry juice everywhere and then eat them and then throw away the pits.
All right, I'm pulling these guys out. I'm submerging them in our ice. They look beautiful.
Yeah, and you're right. We bring up some great points because we like to eat the seasons, obviously, and there's so much of our produce can be seasonal, and so much of our great produce that you'll find at your local HEB is sourced locally. Obviously, if it's not the time, there's a bunch of different ways you can get those fresh fruits. So like we can always do the IQF or the individually quick frozen in our frozen freezer section, the grapefruits like that, like the peaches. Canned peaches isn't always an idea. Otherwise, just substitute like you're going to do with the different fruits. There's ways to do anything.
That's really a great point. So seasonal produce, or obviously it's for seasons, right? So different seasons, different things grow. We definitely live in a global economy and different things grow in different places. So seasons are different. Things can, it may be apple season here, but it could be, Here's a great example. Pomegranates, not necessarily in season here in Texas, but they do, like in Chile, they're growing tons of pomegranates right now. So if you can't find the things that you're looking for, there's always ways to adapt the recipes. And this is what I really love about cooking is that like a recipe is a guideline, right? So we just, here's our suggestion. But as you get more familiar with a recipe and as you experiment and get more familiar with like seasonal ingredients or just ingredients in general, you're able to change and swap things, right? So this particular recipe I had a lot of fun with because we couldn't find peaches. But I thought to myself, what are things that taste like peaches, or what are things that are in season like peaches? And the ideas that I came up with were mangoes, right? So like mangoes, tropical fruits are still in season right now, and mangoes are beautiful. From a texture perspective, they're very similar, right? They're meaty, they have very similar, right? They're a little bit sweeter, but there's also some tartness, just the way like a peach would be. Beets, roasted golden beets. So I have some beets that I brought and I roasted a couple. As they roast, they get really, really sweet, but from a texture perspective, when they're roasted, they're soft, but they also have a little firmness to them. So you can definitely switch things around to find things that A, you like, and B, are available. And so this recipe is absolutely like adjustable, I guess. Like,
and switch it up for the season.
Yeah.
So like during the winter season, when there's some great, you have let's say you have the blood oranges or whatever it is, you can do some great citrus. You can do, summertime, you do stone fruits. Say spring, you do the tropical fruit mango. Like you can really kind of taste this however you want to do it. And then in the fall, obviously you've got some apples and that great stuff. So I love this 100%. I'm weird when it comes to stone fruit, chef, and you give me your opinion. I only eat, now my daughter only does the same thing. I don't like mushy stone fruit. Like I don't like soft peaches. I don't like soft nectarines. I only eat them when they're hard because I love the texture and I love that the sugars aren't fully always developed.
Okay.
And so I love the crunch that it adds to salads, everything else. So I'm just a big like crunchy stone fruit fan. I'm weird like that.
Okay.
Totally weird, but I just try it. If you haven't done it, try it.
They're crisp. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I can appreciate it. So in this recipe, the strawberries. So burrata being that fresh mozzarella, typically people associate like, the fresh mozzarella with like pizzas but like the caprese salad, right? So that beautiful, like soft, kind of like chewy, delicious, creamy cheese with that super, super acidic bite from the tomato and then that balsamic vinegar. Something that I learned when I was in California, they grow a lot of strawberries in California, also in Poteet, but the acid from a strawberry goes really, really well with the creaminess of that mozzarella, right? So it's almost like strawberries and cream, right?
Yep.
Like this peaches and cream, cherries and cream, right? So they mirror each other or complement each other really, really, really well.
More savory almost. So you get a little bit of that savory note with it.
It's super nice.
Cammie had a great thing. She used canned peaches. Cammie, if you've got really sweet canned peaches or if the syrup is a little heavy, I just like to soak them in a little bit of water. So you can kind of rinse those off if you need to kind of like drain some of the sugar out if you need to. That's always an option. Soak them in a little water and then same thing with frozen. You could just soak them in a little bit of water to kind of rehydrate them and then add them the same way. Because you're going to use a balsam. Oh, I cheated. I went ahead. I saw what you were using, chef, and I jumped ahead because I'm a big fan of what you're about to put in all that. The
balsamic. Okay, so for this particular, for the strawberries or the cherries, if you wanted to cut them smaller, you definitely could. So say if we wanted to serve this like a bruschetta or like a salsa style, you could cut them smaller. Or if you wanted them to be bigger for like more of a plated or salad like that, totally fine and totally up to you. I'm just sort of quartering these guys. It's really up to you and how you want to serve it, but there's no right or wrong way to do it. And then I'm going to show you really quickly about these beets. I want to show you what they look like because I'm really excited about them, and they smell. I
love beets. I mean, beets and burrata is like that's my love language. That's one of my go-tos. I love the sweetness when you roast them.
These look great. That's good.
Strawberries are making me happy.
Strawberries are definitely making me happy. So for the roasted beets. The golden beets, super easy, guys.
Will you take us through this, chef? As we're not,
The what?
Wasn't part of the like. Will you walk us through your
No,
roasting beets?
I was trying to find a substitution for the peaches, and I kind of panicked and I didn't know what to do. So I decided to do the beets. But if you can see in here, it's kind of dark. But this is just a barbecue foil, the Texas Tough barbecue foil, and I just took the regular golden beets, just like this. You see right here. I pulled off the greens. and I gave them a wash, and I threw them directly into this foil. Olive oil, salt, that's it. 400-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want to make sure not to go overcook them, but it's just like baking a potato, right? And then I took them out. They're definitely tender, fork tender. And the skin, you can see, has sort of separated from that beet. And I'm going to show you really quickly how we peel them.
Kind of steam the skin. They're so easy to wipe off.
It's so good. Should we put some in there? Y'all want to put some in the salad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you roast a beet, I feel like, and we've done this fast for quick service things. We had to do turnarounds where you can boil them too, and they'll get softer a little faster. But I feel like anytime you have the time,
look at this.
Roasting anything just concentrates the sugars and makes them so much better.
Okay, so all I'm doing is taking this beet and I'm just putting it into a clean dish towel, and gently with my thumbs, I'm pulling. Look at this. The skin just comes, like I'm pulling it away. Super easy, right? Oh my God, it almost looks like a peach.
I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm so excited. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful.
I don't know. I love the
right?
The Tioga beets. I love that. That's candy stripe beets, which are hard to find. I do love red beets because I love the color.
Yeah.
Of the just what it does to things and like the marinating liquid and all that. Gold beets are totally acceptable as we all.
I'm gonna put this in the salad, y'all. It's
less
happening.
staining, I would say. When you got
They're
all that
cleaner,
red, gold
yes,
beets is a great
for
way
sure.
to go with all that red.
Look at that. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in the bowl, and in our bowl, I'm gonna add some salt and pepper, and I'm gonna add our olive oil, and some of our balsamic. And I am using an aged balsamic. We're just gonna.
From Italy.
From Italy.
From the Modena region.
Yeah.
Of Italy.
Central Market, aged balsamic vinegar of Modena. It's beautiful.
It's like
this has
sugar.
been aged. And so as it ages, it concentrates, and all that flavor, all of that like beautiful, like caramelized, my God, it's so good. And it also has a really, really beautiful texture. So I'm gonna add a little bit into here. Look at that. It comes out like chocolate.
It's like chocolate syrup. That's why I love that one the most.
I'm gonna add, this was kind of cold, it was in the refrigerator, but I'm gonna add some of that.
When you walk into most HEBs, I think most HEBs will have, when you go to the aisle with all the vinegars and all the oils and everything, you have the set of kind of like the balsamic vinegar. And so you have the different ages, like there's like the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-leaf, I think they call them leaves actually, and the 4-leaf. And that one, above all else, the one that's a little more expensive, I think is $16.99 we sell, which is a great price. If you think about balsamic vinegars of that texture, are typically like $30 to $40 or even higher. Some of them are even $100 for a jar of a very small jar. This one, for what it delivers, is a absolute total value for $16. And that one is like, it literally is. It's like chocolate syrup.
It is. It's fantastic. If $16 is out of your price range, you could definitely use the other balsamics. But then there's also we sell balsamic reductions, so like
glazes,
the Rini balsamic, the glazes, and those are absolutely acceptable, and those fit in anybody's budget. They're like $3 or $4. They're absolutely fantastic. Okay, so in the bowl we've got we added our golden beets, we've added our cherries, and we added our strawberries. We added salt, pepper, and then that beautiful balsamic. And we're gonna let this sit for a little while, right? We're gonna put this back in the fridge. And to finish it off, we're gonna add in the mint, which is absolutely amazing in this. And then we're gonna add in our burrata. And I have the burrata right here because I just want y'all to see. They look like little poached eggs, right? They're so cute. I like to dry them off before I add them to the dish, simply because when they're dry, all that juice that's been macerating in this bowl kind of sticks to them, and it's absolutely perfect, all right? So I'm gonna leave those there, and we're gonna put this in the fridge, and we are going to go to...
I feel like burrata could be served with anything, on anything.
I agree with you. All right, we are going to go to our avocados, and we are gonna make our guac.
The guacamole. Now, I'm going to throw a lot of, I'm an amateur nutritionist / doctor, so I've got a lot of facts I'm going to throw at you,
I can't
Chef.
wait.
And you can, tell me, whether they're true or not. Again, amateur nutritionist / doctor, so I do a lot of my own self-diagnosing.
Y'all heard it
as
here
we
first,
all do.
Folks.
But I love it. You're using a lot of great ingredients, and I would say from the just from a glance at all the stuff you're using, very healthy stuff. Yes?
Yes. No? Yes. Nobody ever died from eating too many vegetables.
Unless you're anaphylactically allergic.
Okay. Well, I hope not.
That's a different story.
Probably going to get sued now because I said that. adding fruits and vegetables to your diet is always a good idea. And that this is almost like, you know, stealth health or like sneaky, but it's not. We're using wonderful produce to like enhance your experience. So I think it's great. Okay, secret ingredient to our guac or our delicious guacamole avocado spread is our pomegranates, right? And so the tricky thing about pomegranates, well, there's also some other great ingredients. So we're gonna add walnuts and spinach to this. But the tricky thing about pomegranates is trying to get the seeds out, right? You can definitely buy the seeds already or the arils already removed, alone, seeded. You can also find these guys frozen, and I'm going to show you something really quick. We have this really cool product. If you can't find pomegranates.
Yeah, and Cammie, this is what we talked about earlier, where you talked about like not being able to find peaches and pomegranates. The great thing is you take a little stroll down your fruit frozen section, you can find these little bad boys.
These are, this right here, so these are called Juicy Gems, and these are IQF pomegranate arils. Absolutely wonderful. They are amazing in cocktails. Put them on top of salads, in smoothies, whatever. But IQF you can use as little or as much as you want, and they maintain their integrity. So sometimes when you get frozen fruit, it tends to, like, as it thaws, like weep almost and kind of get soggy, but these maintain their integrity. It's super great. It's because they're IQF. Great
individually
products.
Quick frozen is
yes,
what IQF
chef.
Means. If
That's
you're
what that
Courtney,
means.
Bam! I was on there. I felt
there
you.
I
felt you asking, Courtney. Like, what do they keep throwing on this word IQF? Individually quick frozen, which is what a lot of our fruits, which is great because, like Chef Charlie just said, if you can't find a fresh pomegranate, now there were a few at stores. There's a few pomegranate less, but as they are going out, there's you can always go to the frozen fruit section of your H-E-B and find them both organic and regular, but they're picked at the peak of freshness, and then they're individually quick frozen for freshness, so you can always use those.
That's it. Okay, so our pomegranate. So if you want a really cool video, we have another video of this on our YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/HEB, but shows you how to cut a pomegranate. So in case you missed it here and you want to just revisit that. But I'm going to show you really quickly. So basically, you're going to cut the pomegranate across the equator, all right? So the equator, right? So here would be the part where the fruit is attached to the tree, and then this part is where is the blossom end. We're just gonna cut it straight down the middle. Ooh.
I love this technique, selfishly, Charlotte.
Ooh, did y'all see that? It looked awesome.
It's a great way to get, it's a little cathartic, you know what I mean? Like being able to do, there's certain things that you can do in cooking that just give you a little bit of joy, and this is one of those things for me.
So you can see what it looks like on the inside. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, there are some ways people can say to cut a pomegranate where it's like you cut it into water, you know, smash into water and the seeds float and the pith and whatever. Personally, not a fan of that because I like all this juice, right? So all that juice is wonderful flavor and I want to capture that. So I just do it over a bowl and you can see how, it's like, this one's kind of pithy, that the white stuff is called the pith. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna squeeze it a little bit and sort of loosen it up like you would like a lime, right? Before you squeeze it. And then with a spoon, I'm gonna use this metal spoon, you can use a wooden spoon, whatever. You basically just hit it on the back. Now, and see how the seeds start to come out? You will get some of the pith, like some of the pith will come out, you're just gonna have to pick that out, no big deal. You're gonna hit it, and at first you're gonna be kind of like tender and like, you know, do it very gingerly. But don't be afraid. You're gonna have to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Just sort of squeeze it and turn it.
You gotta be a little forceful with the
as you go. No big deal. No big deal. Right? Let's see, some of that pith is coming out.
Wooden spoon works great, but this is a way to capture all the juice. And honestly, this way is really simple. Now you can also cut them into quarters and do it. I feel like it's just. This is a little more fun. This is kind of more direct. It just kind of gets everything out there a little easier. The white pith comes in little spots versus kind of, you know, having to tear it all apart.
And if you have little people, like if you have kids and you want to give them a safe job, like that doesn't involve a knife or anything hot, this is a great one. But look, so we have a minimal amount of pith in our bowl and we're maximizing the amount of seeds. Like this one actually came out really beautifully and I'm
like
super
what you're doing
excited.
there, Chef. It's a great tip. As you're knocking them out, the ones that are stuck a little further in there, you just kind of slowly just kind of, you know, open up the pomegranate by your hand, just kind of loosening them up.
Totally
so it just gets more.
Look, perfect. This is so fantastic. I'm super happy about that. All right, so we're gonna put this aside. Let me clean up my board a little bit.
And you've got the juice all collected.
All collected. It's the same way I feel about like when people, like when you roast a pepper, like when you fire roast a pepper, you never want to rinse that under water unless, of course, it fell on the floor, or throw it in trash. But like all those good charred bits, all that flavor, like you want to keep that. You throw it in the trash. If you drop it on the floor, you throw it in the trash.
I do is when pomegranate season is in full bloom, I typically will take like 6 pomegranates home, and I'll just do like a session where I'm like cutting and spanking all these pomegranates to get all the beautiful arrows out.
Okay.
I said it. Yeah, they're
You
getting
did
a little tapping. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's how I am with the cherries. I buy them all and then I pit them.
Yeah.
And then you can freeze them and do all sorts of great things with them. All right. So next for this, we are going to do our avocados, right? And I am going to take a nod from Scott Tompkins' book, and I am going to use...
I have a book? I wrote a book?
You wrote a book, Tompkins.
I like it.
Apparently you've written a couple of them. I am going to use our roasting rack to press our avocados.
Charlotte, is that a K&T
It is.
roasting baking rack?
It is. I actually thought this was a really good idea. You did it the other day, and I think it's a fantastic idea. Okay. Really easy to cut an avocado. Oh man, these are the large.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, they're all pretty good. Like, all the avocados are pretty good.
Hey, look, you got to squeeze a lot of avocados. Find the ones you need. You know what I mean? Don't be shy.
I don't know if you've heard this, but Scott has manhandled every avocado in the HEB. So
probably so.
And he's not.
Depending on where you shop, probably.
So we're just going to put the knife in, and we're gonna go again around the equator. No big deal. And then you just twist it. Ooh. See? That's a good one.
Man, how can you hate it? I love avocado. It's like one of my favorite things, avocados.
You know, every now and then I meet someone that hates avocado, and I'm first shocked.
Right.
And then once I catch my breath and get my sense and wits about me again,
Look,
it's a texture thing.
I don't like gingerbread. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's got their thing.
You don't like gingerbread?
See, I knew it was going to spur a conversation.
Okay.
You know what? If gingerbread men are sitting there or there's no cookie at all, I'll probably maybe have a piece, but I'm just not a gingerbread guy. I've just never been that guy.
That's all right. That's what makes the world go round.
I'm all over it.
All right. So we got some avocados just like this. Went around the equator. We're going to give them a twist. And then to take the seed out, you just gently tap it and again twist. Now you can use your thumb to take this out, but I don't have a trash can. I just like to tap it
across the room.
Just tap it on the side of the counter or on the side of the sink, and it comes out. It's just to keep your hands protected.
Yeah, because the avocado flesh is as soft as your hands, and the knife will go straight through both.
Will go straight through. Okay, so somebody brought me this tool, and I'm super into it, and I want to see what it does, simply because, wait, where did I put it, y'all? It's called...
the avocado... Oh, yeah.
Scoop and Slice, but I really liked it because the company that makes it is called Chef and Vibe. Chef and Vibe. So I really want to see. I want to see if it does a thing.
I've used it. I think it's a great. We saw it at HEB. Obviously, it's a good tool.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit on all the avocados.
It doesn't,
as well.
but it's gonna fit. You can sort of squeeze it. No, you can squeeze it, but I want to just sort of.
Kind of make it.
I want to see what happens.
Let's see how it works. Full endorsement.
Full.
Get it.
Endorsement.
You got it. Bam. Sliced. The good thing is it's also not a sharp blade, right? So you can obviously do your fingers.
That's safe for all people that use
There
it.
you go.
Yes. I mean, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's fun. All right. So what we're going to do, though, for us to get our avocado in our bowl, I'm going to put a glove on. We are going to use the Scott Tompkins method. Tried and true, Scott Tompkins method.
That way you don't have to be a perfect dicer to just put it over there and just smash it through.
But I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I don't want this completely mashed. Like, I don't want it to be like, I want it to have some chunk and some bite to it, all right?
Yeah.
So,
Texture.
to get these guys out, very easy. I'm just going to take a spoon.
Now, Charlotte, just playing devil's advocate, if you are one of those folks who likes your guacamole completely pureed, like sauce, is this acceptable? Can you do that on this one? Is this
100%,
work with all that stuff?
100%.
And then
Absolutely.
we just fold in the
Absolutely,
walnuts and
yes. So I'm just going to pop these guys out with a spoon. Oh, man, these are really pretty.
This is where the kids can absolutely get involved because you can be scooping and cutting, and they can be smashing them through this.
Yeah, right? Like
rack.
this. Okay, have y'all seen this before? Watch. Bloop.
Come on.
Look at
There
that.
is something so satisfying about pushing avocado. I'm not even kidding
This
you.
is
until you do it, you do it and you're like, that was really satisfying.
It's really satisfying. It's really satisfying. You're not kidding. You're not
Pushing
kidding.
It through just
I really
makes
love it,
it's
right?
Like, this was
I love this.
The easiest dice you'll ever do.
It really is. I wish we had more things that we could
push.
It's
all
one of
the
those
avocados
videos, those ASMR videos where it's like you watch people smash things or run over things. Okay, beautiful.
Is that a thing? Is that a?
It is a thing.
All
like
right.
people like cut soap and all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm sure there's avocado smashing. All right, this is wonderful.
This is that video, Charlotte.
This is that
gonna be
video.
that one.
I'm actually going to save these two guys for our lobsters. All right. Now. All right. I'm going to grab myself a trash can. I did everything but grab myself a trash can. There we go, friends. All right. Get rid of all this. Tompkins, have you ever grown an avocado tree from a pit?
We tried twice to do that, and I think
was-
at some point we got the little thing flowering, like the little tree kind of sprung
Yeah.
up, but then at some point it just died.
Just didn't do a thing?
Look, I'm going to be fully honest with you. I'm a terrible gardener.
That's okay.
Everything I do except even the rosemary died after the freeze, so I can't say.
I
kept
think a
everything
lot of
alive.
people lost some fruits
did.
and vegetables.
Freeze was, typically does not freeze that long for that many days in Texas, and
That was
for
crazy.
all the stuff to survive.
Okay, so also to this recipe, we are going to add in some spinach. And I know people say, what, spinach? Spinach and guac. But trust me, it's absolutely delicious. It adds a really great texture to it. And also, I'm going to tell you all a secret. Like, I like to eat a lot of things. And avocados are calorically expensive. They have wonderful, healthy fats in them and lots of vitamins and minerals, but they can have a lot of calories. So sometimes I throw in extra stuff to make something healthier and to bulk it.
And also,
Pro
if I
tip.
may play my amateur nutritionist role or amateur dietitian role, good leafy greens, like the dark leafy
Yes.
greens, are stuff you want to consume a lot of, right?
Yes, for sure. And anytime you can add leafy greens to your diet, it's a win.
You said something earlier about iron and bioavailability.
Bioavailability.
What was that trick again about? What was the key ingredients in this?
So we talked about that in one of our food synergy classes, but the vitamin C in the pomegranates actually makes the iron from the leafy greens more bioavailable. So basically, it's like it's easier for your body to utilize. Does that make
Blows
sense?
my mind about ingredients,
Yeah.
like everything working harmoniously together.
Yes.
which is what I
Okay.
like.
So we
Cooking,
got
folks,
spinach, we got
cooking.
the pomegranates, we got the avocado, and now we are going to add some walnuts. And I know that people are like, oh, walnuts, what? That's crazy. But it's actually delicious. I love it. It adds a beautiful texture, and it adds this really nice bitterness to the guac that's pairs really well with that buttery richness. Like, I'm a big fan.
I have another. I'm going to put on my amateur dietitian hat again. I'm
just gonna crush
I was
them.
always told that walnuts are shaped like little brains because they also do things that are good for your brain health.
Yeah,
Question
so they
mark?
have a lot
Yeah.
of like healthy
Brain,
fats, like
little brain, shaped like
omegas,
little
so
brains.
they're good for brain health. There's some truth in that, so they look like a brain. So it's just sort of like a visual reminder that these are good
your
for
walnuts.
our
clearly
brains.
need to eat way more walnuts in my diet because my brain function is not as high as I would like to be.
All right, so I added in. I just caught that. I caught that really like on the. Your brain function is perfect,
Subtle.
Tompkins. All right, so
Subtle.
I'm gonna add in some salt to this and some pepper, and then we're just gonna mix this up. And I added some olive oil to it. Tons of healthy fats in this recipe.
So hungry for avocado right now.
So pretty. Look how
Right?
pretty that is.
So you get all those colors, you get all that. You got all that green stuff going. This is where you want to be right now.
And if you weren't into walnuts, if you're not a walnut fan, throw pistachios in there. That good buttery,
pistachios.
like.
Or throw all of them in there.
Yeah.
I love
Do
pepitas,
everything.
pistachios, walnuts.
Do everything. All right, I'm gonna let this sit in the refrigerator. Now, if you were gonna go longer than 15, 20 minutes, I would highly recommend wrapping this with plastic or something like that if you were gonna take this somewhere. But for all intents and purposes, we won't be here that long. I'm gonna
It's
put
good
this.
as is. Oh, side note, Charlotte, as I'm looking at that shot of your lobster sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
so you could, if you're at home right now and you're like, okay, I cooked my lobsters,
Yep.
they're cooling, I'm gonna put this whole thing together. You have that beautiful poaching liquid on the stove.
Yep.
We used to cook spaghetti in the leftover lobster poaching liquid to give your spaghetti a really beautiful kind of like underlying lobster flavor. It's a great way to utilize it. If you want to kind of another use for it, you can definitely do that.
That is a great idea. And we're also, I also recommend saving the shell to the lobster. Okay, so this is our dressing, our base for our lobster salad. So it's that mayonnaise, the red onion, cilantro, the chipotle. And now I'm just gonna add in these avocados. Ooh, just like that. And I'm using the Scott Tompkins method, which I'm a huge fan of.
I got a question for you, Chef. While we're doing this, while Cammie and Courtney have been lighting up the chat and been talking and doing everything that they're doing, I want to know, for all of us, Cammie and Courtney, what are you drinking at home while you're doing all this? What are we drinking? Because I'm getting thirsty.
I'm curious too.
And I see you've got some contraband up to your left there.
I do.
I'm going to call it contraband because it's not near me.
So,
what do we?
So some pairings. We have a couple of wine pairings for you guys. So and some other non-wine pairings. But I've got a little Brut sparkling wine from France, which is perfect for a lobster roll. There's a place in Rhode Island called Flo's Clam Shack, and for $52 you can get 2 hot dogs and a bottle of Veuve Clicquot. That was
also known as the Charlotte Samuel.
Date night. It's for date night. It's 2 hot dogs.
A bottle of Veuve.
It's probably the best deal in the world,
and 2
right?
hot dogs for $55. That's like they must have known that you were going to at some point be visiting Rhode Island and go to school there, and they were like, you know who's going to love this more than anybody? Charlotte Samuel ordered this she'll order it like back to back.
Listen,
like you're probably the only person that's ever done it twice.
It comes with 2 hot dogs. It's for sharing, okay? It's for sharing. All right, so here are our lobsters. I'm going to show you guys how to take the meat out of these guys. It's really easy. It's not intimidating at all. Right?
Charlotte, so right now, Courtney said Sauv Blanc spelled with like 8 C's to say the Sauv Blanc, so she's drinking the Sauv Blanc.
Yes.
Also singing rock lobster while learning. So I'm going to say it like this, singing rock lobster.
It was a rock.
Lobster is how she wrote it.
I love it.
While learning.
I love it, Courtney. I love it. I'm here for it.
You got to have fun while you're doing this.
All right. Here are our wonderful lobsters that we boiled. They are absolutely beautiful. Look at that beautiful color.
Those little guys.
Very easy to clean. I'm going to show you guys really quick a couple of things that you're going to need for this. I highly recommend some really good kitchen shears and a knife and then a couple of dish towels because they are spiny and they can get kind of sharp. I am going to put some gloves on.
Those look magnificent. Look at the color on that. Come on.
Aren't they
look at
beautiful?
that shot. Rob, get out of here with that.
So
look at that.
Beautiful.
It's like zoomed in, lobsters resting, waiting for the pool of salad.
I'm so excited.
Going to cradle their deliciousness.
Did she say she was drinking Sauv Blanc?
Sauv Blanc.
With lots of C's?
And Cammie's drinking Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, just in time for the hot weather. That's a great
Summer
one.
What a great, that's a perfect drink. That's a perfect drink. You could also do ranch water. Ranch water is also a light, refreshing way.
Hang on. What? So is that a real term, ranch water?
It is a real term, and Scott is from California, so we don't.
So hang on. So I imagine, can I take a shot of what's in ranch water?
Yes.
Okay. So I go out to the ranch. I have a pond. I dip my flask in the pond water. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing as ranch water? Is
That's
that a
it.
different?
Nailed it. And then it's bottled at the source, and you can pick it up at HEB. So ranch water is sparkling water with a little bit of tequila and some lime in it. And it comes in a really handy dandy can. But it's great for the hot weather, or just like waiting for you're waiting for your guests to come over. All right, really quick about these lobsters,
ranch water,
right?
And Zoe's drinking gin and tonic, FYI.
I am loving all of this. Okay, I want to hear what else people are drinking. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to remove the head or the body from the tail, right? Also, if you really wanted to, you could take the meat out of the legs. I feel like it's,
probably a little more work.
It's more work than it's worth for me, but don't throw away the bodies or any of the shells because they're great for making stock, right? If you were going to do a lobster bisque or like a butternut squash
those
soup.
Shells in the oven.
I think maybe we'll do an episode on that or a class on that. So really, you're just going to pull these guys away. Just pull that out. Leave those guys in there. Just pop off.
Claws.
Oh wait, I did it backwards. I'm sorry. I always do that when I'm cleaning shrimp. Inevitably, I mix up the shells and the.
Looking at this recipe, there's a little bit of work involved in this. If you're going to do it all the way from live lobster home, but if you're doing just the tails, it's real easy. But it's it's worth it because This is, in my opinion, this is one of those recipes where, you know, we're getting toward the warmer weather, summertime, you know, like kids are going to get out of school soon. Like, this is a great recipe to start switching up your normal weekday routine
For sure.
with.
For sure. All right, so here we have our lobster, and I'm going to take kitchen shears, and I'm just going to go straight down the back. Give it a little, like, some pressure, so squeeze it from the bottom.
Got it. Yeah, be careful not to go into the flesh of your hand again. Sharp shears.
Right?
Shears? I can't speak. I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
And then we're just going to...
In talking about the booze again, because I want to go back, because I'm staring again at your contraband. We talk about ranch water. Everybody said they really like ranch water. I'm educated now as to what ranch water is. It actually sounds pretty good.
Yes.
You mentioned the Vive Clicquot. You like sparkling for lobster, right?
Love sparkling.
I know that's your go-to. Now, Chardonnay, if we were going to do like a red white, like Chardonnay, like would you want a buttery Chardonnay, French Chardonnay? You and I are pretty diametrically opposed on the Chardonnay front as far as
we are.
You like the fresh, like French style minerality.
I like an unoaked Chardonnay. I like the minerality. I like to, to be, you're right. That's what I like.
Chardonnay with a stick of butter shoved in it.
I know you do. So Scott is into his California butter bombs. Butter bombs. All right. So
malolactic fermentation.
Here are our claws and our little elbows right here. So super easy. I just popped the little rubber bands off. And every lobster has like a pincher and a smasher, right? So it's got a smaller, thinner one, right? And then it has a smashy guy.
Love it.
Okay. And so also if you notice, so you can see how these guys have some spines on them, and they can really you can actually hurt yourself. So I highly recommend using a dish towel.
Cammie had a great question. She said, "Help! I don't have kitchen shears." Cammie, don't worry. Literally, just put the tail of the lobster down.
I gotcha.
With a big knife, just cut it in half very gently, and you can take the meat out that way.
Like this. Let's pretend. Are you watching, Cammie? Can you see me?
This is for you.
This is for you. So let's pretend this guy was intact, like this. All you would do is, just like Scott said, is you would take your knife and you would just straight down, right? And I'm going to go from this angle over here so you can see it from here, just like this. And then you would just go straight down and open this guy up.
Peel out the meat.
How was that?
Cammie, don't put down your Chardonnay. Put down your Chardonnay to cut it, then pick up your Blanc, your Sauv Blanc, and then pick it right back up after you're done cutting it. Because this is a recipe you can make with a glass of wine in one hand.
For sure. All right, I'm just roughly chopping this, the tail meat.
She's drinking the summer shandy. I got that wrong.
Summer shandy.
Put your summer shandy
I'm here
down.
for it. I love it.
There's a lot of cocktails happening in the chat, and I'm happy
All right,
for it.
Here we go.
Mixed up.
So now I'm going to remove the arm and leave the claw.
Yeah, I'm really curious to show. I want you to show everybody how to do the claw technique, because I don't normally do. I think I just do it the barbarian way. I just smash everything and pull it out.
Of course you do.
I don't do it the nice. There's a better way.
Of course you do. All right. So super, super easy, right? So all I do is I take the guy and see it's like da, 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 right? So I hold it like this, and with the back of my knife, I just tap. So just the way Scott...
That's a really important distinction. You said the back of your knife,
The back of your knife.
So you're not doing the blade. Look at that juice.
And just the way Scott cut the coconut, right? You just kind of lightly, and you definitely, it's sharp, guys, so it has spines, so I want y'all to be careful when you do it, but you just sort of
work it out there.
Work it out.
Boom.
Ooh-wee.
Come on. Look at that.
And kind of just gently, just like that. Throw that in there. That's like great presentation if you wanted to if you were doing like a lobster risotto, or again, like a butternut squash soup that had like a lobster bisque and you wanted to really showcase that lobster, the claw meat. So again, back of your knife.
Don't worry, I'll clean all that up. I got it.
No, that's
I got to sandwich. Yes, save all the shells. She's putting all the shells in a thing. Save all those shells because they can be roasted and added to many things for lots of great flavor.
This guy had a strong...
Like butter. Cooking rice, cooking pasta, roasting for stock, soups.
All right. Come on. Everything was so beautiful in rehearsal.
Hey, that's all right. That's the nature of it all.
And if you can't get it out, I like a chopstick works really, really well to push things through.
That's a great tip.
Right? Chopstick is a workhorse, man.
We sell chopsticks at H-E-B. You can get the chopstick pack.
All right. I want to make sure. Look at these guys. Ooh, that's really pretty.
Gently
Come on.
removing the claw
Come
meat.
on. Ooh. Ooh.
There it is. I see it.
Oh,
It's coming.
that's all right.
That's all right.
Okay, and then really
I mean,
quickly.
it's going to get, mushed around anyway.
So, yes, Chardonnay goes with everything, specifically lobster, because, yes, Chardonnay and lobster. And then it also goes really well with, like, the fattiness, right? So there's a little bit of that mayonnaise in there, that avocado. So that brute cuts the fat really nicely.
Absolutely.
All right. Lobster. And then I'm going to show y'all
Lobster.
how to
Boy, I
get...
bet you'd love a pair of chopsticks right now, wouldn't
I
you?
know, man. The chopsticks are the workhorse in the kitchen, and I don't have any. I'm going to use the claw, the other
There you
side of
go.
the claw. I'm going to be resourceful. All right,
Get all that
guys.
out of there.
Oh,
There it
man.
is. There it is. Yeah,
Come
that's all right.
on.
Win some, lose some.
There
It's
we
all
go.
good.
There we go.
There we go.
All
There
right,
it
now
is.
really quickly to
Stayed
get
with it. You hung in
this,
there.
I call this the elbow meat, right? And I use, again, some kitchen shears, good kitchen shears. Now, Cammie, you need to be really, Cammie, right?
Yep.
Courtney, okay.
open
Be
with a
careful
knife.
when you're using your knife on this because they do have spine, they're spiny, but you're just gonna cut them and then in a couple of places.
Cammie, another way you can do it too, if you don't have your shears, is take your knife flat and just kind of crush it first,
Yep.
and then you can kind of get a flatter surface to chop it.
You want me to show you that method? I can. But I want to make sure that I get, and then you'll just pick out this meat like so. Here, Tompkins, like this. I don't have,
Yeah, just give a little press to it and kind of crush it, and then,
good call, Tompkins.
I'm telling you, I've been eating my walnuts. Brain function, soaring.
There we go. Now, like I've never, do you use the mallet for lobster or is that only for crab?
I just, it
Slippery.
magically disappeared. That was the one magic act we had planned for tonight. Disappeared before your very eyes. For my next trick,
All right, here we go. We'll do one more, and then I turned my grill on earlier because I want to grill some bread. They're like, remember that time we watched that girl like peel that lobster for?
no, you remember when we watched that girl do the magic trick where she went to smash it, it
Made the
disappeared?
lobster disappear. All right.
We'll fix that in post.
Just
don't
pulling
worry.
that stuff out of there. But really, like I said before, be careful. They do have all these crazy spines on them. All right.
Yeah, Cammie, next time we're going to put on your shopping list pair of good kitchen shears.
You can also just do tails, y'all. Like if you don't want to mess with this, all this work, you can also do tails. All right. There we go.
You can make it a family thing.
I'm gonna
Everybody can
save
just
this
kind of
and eat
peel
it,
the
so-
lobster meat out of the...
For sure. Well, if you were in
Claws
like Maryland, it would be you'd have like a crab boil and then you just sit there and pick crabs.
There you go.
It's totally a thing. All right.
Cammie said she got lucky and only did tails. There you go.
Oh, okay. Smart,
Chop it up
smart,
and
smart,
easy.
smart,
Makes
smart,
it much
smart.
easier.
All right.
And that's a great way, Cammie, too, to make it more weekday friendly.
Okay. So I'm going to move this over here so y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm mixing it up.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to let this sit, let everything marry. While that happens, we have some time left. So I'm going to do some grilled bread really quickly, just a couple of pieces because I want everyone to see how we're going to serve this beautiful salad. I also have some bread that I've already grilled, but I'm just going to show you how I'm going to cut it. And you can do, I'm going to do it on the bias. How does that sound?
So now why on the bias, Chef?
So the reason, good question. So I like to do it on the bias, A, for presentation, but B, you have more surface area to put more good stuff on there, right?
That satisfies both my questions.
Do we have time to grill some bread? I think we have some time. So
you can throw it on the grill and then start doing your burrata because I'm excited.
I'm
You
gonna
teased
build
me with
our
the burrata and
burrata.
then it's been marinating.
Right. Literally for the grilled bread, just like this, and you can. This is where the spray oil comes in, super handy.
Really nice coating on the surface.
Yep. Salt. Pepper, like literally you can't put enough olive oil on grilled bread if you ask me. That's just a personal...
In my opinion, Charlotte, you can never put enough olive oil on anything. I use it like most people do ketchup.
I could drink it, yeah. Okay, and again, salt and pepper. And we're gonna take this to the grill. Also, I am taking, I just got pepper all over me. Oof. I'm gonna take our hot dog buns. So I'm using the bakery, like naturally leavened, scratch-made hot dog buns. I learned this trick camping, y'all. I didn't know this before. But you take the bun. First you take the bun and you smash it. But you put it on, you put it on the grill. And all we want to do is we're just going to soften them just a little bit, right? And then what we're going to do, we're going to put them back in the bag and we're going to steam them. And so they get a little bit of that toast, a little bit of char.
Soft.
And, yep. So then I'm going to turn, woo, this guy's high. All right, Tompkins.
Yeah, Cammy's with you on the hot dog buns. They are really good. I think that's what you want, like a typical lobster roll. You just want really soft bread, right? Like what's the typical, like are there any no-nos for a lobster roll as far as that goes?
Again, it goes back to your personal preference, right? So whatever you like and whatever you want is what you're gonna do. Most people or most lobster rolls are served on like a white hot dog bun, like a traditional like this. Glad you asked, Tompkins. I have some. So these are like plain old white hot dog buns, and they're split top right here. So you would just open this guy up, and you would put the filling in the top, just like that. But it needs to be soft.
Super
and
soft.
Actually, so in our seafood market right now, our Meal Simple, we have lobster rolls already made. It's the lobster salad.
I love those.
Look at this.
I'm telling you, we thought of everything.
No, it's the lobster salad and a delicious split top roll, and you buy it and it's it. It's it. I love it. I'm here for it. It's the best thing.
Little grilled bread. Love that.
All right, now I've gotten these warm, right? Warm. They're a little toasty on the bottom. I'm going to shove these guys back in here, and they're going to steam up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to show you how we're going to plate that.
I do this with my tortillas when I make tacos. I do them all at once, and I tie them back up so they just kind of steam in that bag. Great tip, chef.
I mean, every now and then I have a good one.
I would say more than every now and then.
All right. Some bread.
A little grilled bread. This is where I would take my garlic clove and rub it all over those.
Oh, for your fatunta?
My fatunta.
Your fatunta. I like how you said that. All right.
I love that.
I'm gonna grab our strawberries, our guac. We're gonna get ready for plating. I'm gonna do a
my burrata now.
I'm gonna do the burrata. Ooh, I switched them. Scratch that, reverse it. Okay. So, here is all of our macerated fruit. It's absolutely beautiful. I am going to put some greens on the bottom because I want to capture all of that beautiful juice that has been lingering or that we've created.
Gonna work as a natural dressing.
Oh, yes, it's so good. And then we're gonna finish this with the burrata and the mint, and it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. And then we're gonna plate up the other guys. Here we go. Just a little bit of greens, and you can use arugula if you wanted.
Love arugula. Peppery notes.
Ooh, man, okay.
There really is. If you walk while you're assembling all that, Charlotte, if you walk the produce department locally, you're close, HEB, whatever HEB is close to you, they have so many brand new, like different bag salads, different styles of salad, like already chopped, pre-washed, ready to go, a little bit more like funky spring mix. We've got the little gems, we've got the rose mix. There's all this great salad. So especially as we move into the warmer weather, it is like salad season.
Absolutely. So here is our beautiful burrata. It looks like a poached egg. You can serve it on top if you'd like and drizzle it for presentation, but I like to break it up and let everything like ooze together.
Pull it apart.
Yeah, and it's easier to serve. So I'm going to pull this apart and you can see all that beautiful cream come out.
It's all that like creamy curd.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it.
You can find burrata typically, not every H-E-B has it, but typically if you're going to find the burrata, it's going to be in your deli section.
It is.
Where all the other fresh mozzarellas are being held, you'll find it there. And it's a really reasonable price for what it is.
And we're going to throw some mint on top. You could use basil if you want. If you can't find burrata, regular fresh mozzarella works just as beautifully. Even like a feta would work, or a goat cheese would be delicious in this recipe too.
A little more.
So just really quickly, we'll do a chiffonade of mint.
Fresh chiffonade.
Chiffonade of mint. And so we just kind of layer up our leaves here.
Like anything chiffonade on top of something like that is just going to add.
I just like saying chiffonade, and it's a great little culinary term to like throw at people. And just be like, oh, it's a chiffonade. Okay.
Honey,
just roll them up.
Chiffonade that basil for me so I can throw it on top of this.
It's a chiffonade of basil. All right, sprinkle. Smells so good. Oh my God, this is like dessert, everybody. I love it.
I'm telling you, mint is good on everything. It's
Extra
not
drizzle.
just meant for garnishing desserts.
No, man, mint is great for everything. It's not just for iced tea and for.
Do some of that. There you go. A little more, please. A little more.
Oh, so
there we go.
We're gonna have $6 of balsamic. Wonderful. Look at that guy. Ta-da. Let's get our guac. I have some bread that I already grilled. Ta-da.
It's all coming together.
This guy, look how pretty this is. This is so beautiful and so colorful. I'm just gonna throw this in here like that.
I feel like this would be that'd be a good brunch thing to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like get some croissants along with your bread.
Absolutely. And I've got some grilled bread here, and I have some not grilled bread. You could throw some naan or flatbreads into the mix if you'd like. Absolutely love it. And then,
boom.
Get out of here, avocado. Get out of here. Perfect. And now I'm going to get these guys. Grab our plate.
At this point, it's all coming together. You should be on your second
glass of wine.
Second gin martini? No,
so
gin martini a little stronger, maybe.
They're nice. They're nice and soft. I'm gonna break them apart. Look at this. They're just super, super tender. These are beautiful.
These are great.
And then put them like this. That's enough, right? How do y'all feel about that?
That's perfect.
And then, so these aren't cut, so you're just gonna, you can cut them on the side if you wanted to do hot dogs, but we're gonna go like this. Cut these guys open just like this.
A little slit down the center here.
I love it. That's important. On the top like that, that's how a lobster roll should be. And then, so I was describe it as like the potato smush, but nobody knew what the potato smush was. So you just want to open these guys up a little bit like that. And then, here we go. Need a better
the lobster.
The lobster. I love it. You sound like, oh, look at this big chunks of lobster. And then, who was my friend that said we needed to season it up? I agree with him.
Tammy.
We got to season that a little bit.
Always season. If we teach you nothing in these classes, I hope you get the fact that we love to season food. Seasoning food makes everything better.
It does.
Season it all.
I agree.
From your fruits to your desserts to your lobster salads.
Your lobster. Oh man, the avocado with this is like super fantastic.
I really like the color of it all.
It's really beautiful, right? Look at that guy. Oh. I'm crowding the plate here.
I'm starving right now.
This is gonna be so good.
And I'm seeing like all the lobster going in, and I want to
I mean, it depends on how much you like your friends, how much you want to put in there.
That's a good, I mean, hey, you know, that is a generous amount of lobster in those lobster rolls.
Right?
I'm sorry, for a family of 4 right there, like I'm in a good spot.
I'm gonna do
with
one
everything?
more.
Yep.
Just because we have room for one more. Look at this, and that's it.
A little more.
Y'all, this is it. It's fantastic. I mean, look how easy that was. Al fresco dining for the summertime.
How easy is that?
I'm super excited.
As you're wrapping all that up, don't forget you can go to our HEB YouTube channel, youtube.com/HEB. For this and other great classes. You can obviously watch all the past episodes. We want to keep adding great tools to your culinary toolbox. What else, Chef?
That's it. That's it. I'm glad you guys came. We snuck in so much produce. We eat so many surprising seasonal produce things. I love it. Like he said, check out the lineup, hb.com/casas or YouTube, youtube.com/HEB. Thank you guys for coming.